Today's video is going to be a little bit different than my typical videos I put up on this channel. And the reason being is because I want to go over my own personal experiences and lessons that I've learned in the past 5 years of being a landlord. I bought my first property at 20 years old in 2019. And the fact that 5 years has already passed is crazy. So once I realized that 5 years has passed, I was like, oh, I should make a video about the lessons I learned. So that's what I'm going to go over today. I hope you enjoy. Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Shane Moynihan. I'm a real estate agent and investor based out of Keene, New Hampshire. And if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest around the area, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to connect and just kind of help you out however you're looking. Or if you just have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM either on here or on Instagram or wherever you'd like to do it. Feel free to reach out. I try to respond as quickly as I can. But without further ado, let's get into the lessons that I've learned in the past 5 years of being a landlord. So lesson number one is going to be patience. And what I mean by this is so many people nowadays, like especially on social media, they just come across and kind of paint the view of being a real estate investor as something that you can get into tomorrow and you're going to be able to retire in a year. Like it's not that simple of a course. Of course, I wish it was, unless you have a crap ton of money stored up in cash. It's going to take you a little bit to actually accumulate properties and learn how to actually manage properties and even just finding deals. Like it takes time to actually do this stuff. So kind of make sure you're going on your own timeline. Make sure you're buying deals that make sense. Don't just be buying deals because you want to keep up with the Joneses, and the Joneses in this case being people on social media that you're following that seem to be picking up 20 units every month, and you're sitting there like, how the heck do they keep doing this? Well, chances are either they have some money, they have private money that they have access to, or maybe they're just doing a lot of partnerships. Everyone has their own course for real estate, so just kind of figure out what yours is going to be and just stick to that. Don't try like keeping up with anyone. It's not a competition. This is solely based on your investing and growing your wealth. So make sure you do it smartly and do it in time. It doesn't have to be something that just happens right away. So just make sure you have the patience, and that's going to build over time too. Lesson number two is getting your systems down. Now, of course, you've probably heard this in any books you've read, podcasts you've listened to, or YouTube videos you've watched. Get your system down is one of the biggest things you can do as being a landlord, because you want to actually have like not just I have to fill a vacancy, let's remember how to do this. No, have an actual plan. Like for me, if I get a vacancy, once the tenant moves out, I go in there, I do all the updates or repairs that are needed, and I try getting that thing listed as soon as possible. The places I listed are usually Facebook Marketplace and apartments.com for me. And that seems to be good in my area. Of course, there's different kind of apartment websites and rental websites across the nation. This one works great for me, and apartments.com is actually what I use to collect rent. So it just is even more of a smooth transaction when they fill out the application through apartments.com. So I love using them. It's a free website, and I believe it's a free account. I'm not getting paid to say this. I wish I was, but apartments.com has always been really good for me. So I would check them out. And then, of course, get your actual processes down for screening tenants and understand, like, don't just try to fill a vacancy as soon as possible. Like last time I had a vacancy, I waited and let my property sit for a month while I lost money for that month, because I knew that these tenants were going to be able to move in the next month. And they were the best qualified tenants I got through my screening process. And I said, of course, I could have filled it that month, but I'd rather wait for the good tenants that are way more promising and actually can prove that they can pay rent. Another thing is like, don't fall for those things where people are like, oh, I can pay years in advance. Like, yeah, well, what happens after a year? So don't go for those ones that want to pay cash all up front. That's just a little side tangent because I thought of it. But yes, a big thing is actually screening your tenants. So many people just don't even do it, and then they wonder why they hate landlording. Well, because you're putting bad tenants in your apartments because you're not actually looking at their background or any of their history. So have a process for that. And of course, for like bills and collecting rents. Like me, I collect through apartments.com, and then my bills, I just pay monthly. It's not a ton of them. A lot of them are just on auto pay, but make sure you're looking at them, because I've had a few things come up. Like I had a water bill issue the other couple months ago, I had a water bill issue where it was like triple what it normally is. And I said, something seems off here. It was 2 leaky toilets. It cost me a lot of money and just leaky water. All I had to do was adjust a little float in there so that it stopped filling up all the time. Expensive lesson? A little bit, but it was a lesson learned. Lesson number 3 is house hacking is great. Now, if you followed me or consumed any of the content I put out, either here on YouTube or just like my short form content, you probably see that I plaster house hacking just about everywhere I put up content. And that's because I personally have done it twice and I love it. I absolutely love the freedom it brings. You are so less stressed out about having to make rent or having to make your mortgage payment because you're making more income because you have a renter renting out part of your house. So it just makes it able to do stuff. Like I was literally able to create an opportunity for me to pursue real estate as one, of course, still pursuing real estate investing, but I was able to become an agent because I was house hacking. I was able to quit a job that I hated because I was house hacking. I didn't have a huge payment that I had to worry about. I had saved up money that with my little amount I had to put towards my mortgage because most of it was getting covered by rent. I had the flexibility to be able to go down a different career path and have that little time where it's slow and I'm not making a ton of money, but I have the flexibility to do that because I house hack. So like, it just like creates flexibility in a bunch of different areas that people don't even think about. And yes, sometimes it can suck having to have people around you all the time and owning a house, but not having all the privacy of owning a house. But like, it's not one of those things that are going to last forever. You don't have to house hack until you're 80 years old. You only have to do it for a few years or a few times just to acquire some properties, get in it for a lower down payment, and be able to supplement your rent so you can pursue other stuff that you actually care about. Lesson number 4. Now this one you've probably heard. Don't rent to friends or family. This one, another one of the ones that you see it everywhere, you read it in all the books, but you don't believe it until something bad happens to you. Well, I was trying to be a nice guy, letting a buddy of mine live with me for a little bit because he needed a room to stay in. So I said yes, agreed to terms and all this, and then it just became awkward. He owed me money. You see him every day. Both of you know the money's owed, but nobody wants to talk about it, and it just becomes horrible. So this one's a short lesson, but don't rent to friends or family, no matter what people say. Like, I understand. Yes, you might have some family that, oh, they're going to pay. Yeah, until they want to go do something else. Guess what? They're going to have a lot more fun going on a vacation that costs the rent. And then be like, oh, we actually had a little bit more expenses this month. Can I get you next month? No, you can't. So that's another lesson. And the last one I'm going to mention in this video is lesson number 5. And that's taking pride in being a landlord. Like, I feel like so many landlords, they get into the thing where getting rent every month almost becomes automatic for them, that they kind of become entitled, I want to say, but like not calling anyone out. I feel like younger landlords are kind of actually rejuvenating the space where they're really putting a lot of care into it. As they should. You're supplying people with affordable housing because they can't purchase a house or they can't find a house to buy. So you're providing them with housing. Like, take care of the damn housing. Like, having a happy tenant is being a happy landlord. Like, when you actually keep them happy, fix the stuff that is a problem. Give them the stuff that's broken, replace it, give them new stuff. Like, it's your house. Keep it up. They're just saying, hey, this is wrong, just an FYI. So like, keep your tenants happy and it's going to be a way better experience. And the way I always look at it and I always say it is, I'm not going to rent out a place that I personally would not move into and live in. If I don't think it's good enough for me to live in, why am I charging someone money to live in it? Like, fix up your damn house. Make it nice, make it clean, like actually do repairs that make sense. Take pride in owning real estate and owning to improve your building and improve the area or town or city you live in so that there is good housing. And you can actually have other families raise in your house and they raise in a good area because you actually take care of what you're supplying, and that is housing. So like, realize what you supply, realize why you're supplying it, because it's unaffordable for some people to go buy a house. So you're supplying affordable housing to other people. And actually give them good housing to live in. Don't just become a slumlord that wants to collect a check every couple months and then you get mad when you start getting bad tenants. Yeah, because your property looks like shit. What do you think you're gonna get? Like, nobody wants to move into a crappy apartment if they're in a really good job or can afford more money. Like, they're gonna go for the nicer place than the cheaper place if they can afford it. So those are kind of 5 lessons I've had in 5 years as a landlord. As you can tell, I hope through this video, I take pride in being a landlord. Like, I genuinely think I'm providing good housing to people that need affordable housing for the time being. Whether they go buy a house after they're with me, I hope they do. I hope they go buy a multifamily so they can do what I'm doing. That's why I try to push it so much as an agent, to open the eyes of especially younger people to get that first house and get started in their real adult life on the right foot. Don't just go into debt because it's the American dream to buy a single family house. If that's not what you want to do and you want to accumulate some rentals, it's a lot easier to do it starting out, because you can buy a rental property with 3.5% down and use it as a house and get more income. And after you move out, you have a rental property. You don't have to worry about getting 25% down that so many people have troubles doing. So that is kind of a big part of why I am a real estate agent, because once I was an investor, got into it, realized the power of house hacking that it truly had, I wanted to share that with others and just kind of open the eyes of others. And being a landlord, if you actually know what you're doing, take pride in it and keep yourself educated with new stuff and changing laws, and actually, again, keeping your property updated and actually doing good repairs, it's a lot, I don't want to say easier, but it's a lot more manageable than people think. People think getting a landlord is getting calls at 2 a.m. and you're never going to get sleep again because everything's going wrong. Well, yeah, if you have a house that breaks every day, you're going to have issues. Fix the stuff and it won't break all the time. It's pretty simple. I've never got a call at 2 a.m. because I take pride in making sure the stuff works before I go and rent it out. So it's pretty simple. Just do the upfront work and it'll pay off in the end. But that's my short little video today. I just wanted to go over my personal experience of what I've done as a landlord. And it's just insane to me that I bought my first place at 20. I just turned 25 last month. I already have 5 years experience being a landlord, which is insane. And I love it. I truly love it. I'm going to keep acquiring rentals and keep growing my portfolio. And again, my name is Moynihan. I'm a real estate agent and investor based out of Keene, New Hampshire. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, feel free to reach out to me. Or if you have any questions about maybe something in this video or something in a prior video or just general real estate questions, real estate investing questions, feel free to shoot them my way. I'd be more than happy to help you out. And if you want to see some more short form, everyday type content, feel free to follow my Instagram page. I post there literally every day. So I'm always updating stuff, putting out great content on that also. And I hope this deserved a like and a subscribe, but I'll catch you next week.